Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to the witnesses for being here. Director Wray, let me start with you if I could. I think the last time that I got to visit with you was back in August 4th of this year. You were at the Senate Judiciary Committee. You remember that, I assume. We had to cut that hearing short. We were supposed to do 2 rounds of questions. You said you had to be somewhere, so we cut it short. Republicans were not able to ask a second round as we had been informed we would. The press reported shortly thereafter that the reason that the hearing had to be cut short is because you were flying on a Gulfstream jet for a personal vacation in the Adirondacks. Please tell me that's not accurate.
Senator, the hearing was not cut short from my experience. We had agreed beforehand on the time and length of it, and I was very surprised to find that anyone on the committee was surprised. As to how I fly, I am required, not only permitted, but required to fly on an FBI plane wherever I go.
So you were going on vacation?
I was, yes.
So you left a statutorily required oversight hearing in order to go on a personal vacation in the Adirondacks?
The reason why this happens, folks, is because these are all elitists. They're part of the deep state. So yeah, he decided to say, you know what, I don't have to be here at this meeting. I can cut it short. I gotta go vacay with my fame out in the Adirondack. I mean, come on. This is just, if any one of us had done this or whatever, we'd probably be hit with, sanctions or something, or be put in jails or in contempt. But these guys, they get to do whatever the hell they want. Goes on vacation.
I took a flight to go visit my family, as had been previously arranged in conjunction with the leadership of the committee.
The ranking member, Chuck Grassley, asked you during the hearing, he said, I assume you must have other business. You said, yes. He then said, if you have a business trip, you've got your own plane, can't it wait a while? He then said, Chuck Grassley, we only just heard half an hour ago that now you have to leave. We were going to have a 7-minute round followed by a 3-minute round. I've got 7 people on my side of the aisle, that included me, who are any reason we can't accommodate them for 21 minutes. And you said you had a plane to catch. You had somewhere to go. And now we find out it was for vacation?
The reference to other business was not a reference to that day. It was a reference to the following week where Senator Grassley and I were going to see each other in Iowa when I had other business in Iowa, and I did in fact see him then.
So wait, you had to leave the hearing early because you're going to see him later in Iowa in a week?
No, I had to leave when I said I was going to have to leave, as had been previously organized with the leadership of the committee.
You left an oversight hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee required by statute so you could vacation with your family. I find that absolutely unbelievable. And frankly,
what else do you expect? As I said before, these guys think they can do whatever they want.
Indefensible. Now, is it your practice to use government planes? You say you do this all the time. You flew in a Gulfstream 550, I think, that was originally purchased for counterterrorism purposes. You were using it to go to, what is it, Saranac Lake? Is that how I say it? I've never been there. Is that the right pronunciation? Saranac Lake? That was your destination?
Yes.
So, did you enjoy the flight? I mean, did you pay for it?
Yes, I paid for it.
Will you turn over all receipts and reimbursement to this committee?
Senator, we will be happy to comply with oversight requests related to the use of the plane, as I said, and it's important for people to understand.
Why don't you just give me a yes? Will you turn over the receipts for your flight?
I will turn over the information related to my use of the plane. The use of the plane, I am required, not just permitted, required, even for personal travel, to use the FBI plane.
How convenient for you.
I pay.
Now, I have to say one thing here in defense of Christopher Wray, and I really, we want to be fair to both sides. And I know Senator Hawley is obviously, grilling him in a question and making him feel uncomfortable with these types of questions. And that's perfectly fine. But one thing I didn't realize, and perhaps you guys didn't know either, was that now I assume this is true. So let's take it on the fact that it is, that Christopher Wray is saying that by law, he has to take this plane. Okay, he's the FBI director. He needs to have protection. He needs to have the latest technology. He needs to be protected, whatever. So if by law he's got to take this plane, obviously for government business, but also if he's traveling personally, and then if he's reimbursing it for personal travel, okay, I find that kind of cumbersome that they could have had a different plane for him to travel for personal time, but I guess they want to make sure that he's on the clock regardless, and that plane will be ready at his beck and call whenever he needs to. So in terms of that, I will have to go ahead and cede some ground to Christopher Wray that, okay, by law, he's supposed to take this plane. It's a personal trip, personal matters, and he's reimbursing them for the cost or whatever that's associated with it. If that's a law, that's a law. Okay, fine. Anyways, let's continue.
Every single time that I use the plane for personal
I'm
use,
glad it's available for you to jet away from your statutorily required hearings and oversight before this Congress, where you denied the ability of members of Congress to ask you questions because you had to go on a personal vacation using a government plane. Let's just look at some of the things while you've been vacationing that your FBI has been doing. According to numerous whistleblowers who have come forward to members of this body, to members of the House, the FBI has been sending more than, in one instance, a dozen armed agents to a rural Pennsylvania home of a Catholic pro-life demonstrator to arrest him at gunpoint in front of his children in early morning hours, despite the fact that he posed no risk of violence or threat and had previously offered to turn himself in. Numerous whistleblowers, field agents, have alleged that D.C., your headquarters, has pulled them off working on child sex abuse cases, working on human trafficking cases, in order to work on January 6th matters for this reason, to give the appearance, they say, that there are hundreds of new domestic terrorism cases in the country, when in fact there are not. Whistleblowers, field agents have also said that D.C. has ordered the use of SWAT teams on non-violent suspects who may have attended a January 6th rally, and they have been ordered to conduct surveillance and knock on doors of people who were not even in D.C. on January 6th. And again, all of this, according to the whistleblowers, these are your agents, all of this in order to make it look as if there's a mass surge in domestic terrorism all across the country, when in fact, the stats are being padded by political directive in your office. They also say, these whistleblowers, the DC leadership deliberately suppressed investigations into Hunter Biden, contrary to FBI procedure, and have also retaliated against FBI agents and whistleblowers who have contacted Congress, which, by the way, they are protected by statute to do so. This is what's happening at your FBI while you are evading oversight hearings. Mr. Director, do you think you're still up to this job?
Before he answers that question, just take a look at this face here and what's going on here. I mean, first of all, folks, the list that Senator Hawley is talking about, sending SWAT teams, and I bet you these were all conservatives, all, Republicans probably. I mean, sending it to a pastor's house to arrest him on a weekend in the morning, guns out, in force. I mean, what the hell is that? We've heard all this thing before with them arresting parents because they decide to go to a school board meeting and basically, criticize and condemn CRT and pornography and LGBTQIA, issues and the sexualization of their children in schools and the misuse of going into bathrooms and all of this. And then FBI agents are, at your door. They're knocking on your neighbor's door and trying to find out, what's going on. Or the bogus illusion, the collusion, the delusion of the January 6th, fiasco, that occurred. That facade. And this is all happening on Christopher Wray's watch while he goes to vacay with his family out in the Adirondacks or whatever. This is what's happening. And as he said, padding the stats, making it look like there's more domestic terrorist things that are taking field agents off of cases of child molestation and pedophilia and sex crimes and whatever, and basically sending it over for January 6th crap. I mean, what the hell's going on? But that's what's happening in the deep state. And Sarah Hawley just pointing these things out, and this guy, Chris Wray, is just listening there, knowing full well that this is exactly what's going on. And that's what these guys, I mean, that's what our FBI is relegated to doing now. We know that's happening. Look what they did. Look, if they can go illegally, and I believe it was illegal, no precedent set, storming into the residence of a president of the United States on just bogus charges? What rights do you and I have then? Little old me, little old you guys out there. Come on. This is government coercion, the force, the tyranny of the state against the individual, against a citizen. That's not what's supposed to happen. Let's listen to what Chris Wray has to say in regards to that now.
I absolutely think I'm still up to this job, and I think our workforce feels the same way.
Well, I don't. And frankly, I think you should have been gone a long time ago. And given your behavior recently, I think it only makes it more clear. Are there any travel plans today that we should be aware of that you have? We're supposed to have a second round. Will you be here for that?
Yes.
All right, okay. So he asked him inside there, right? You going to be available for your second round of questionings, or do you got to jet away again for a vacay someplace? And you could just see here, Christopher Wray is just not happy at all, answering these questions here, because he thinks he's above it all. He's the director of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations. And for him to be here answering these kind of questions to the peons of Congress, come on now, he's got better things to do than that. You can just tell right here. Look at this face. Look at the eyes. Look at the lips. Come on. Unbelievable. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And if you haven't already done so, we certainly hope you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. And we'd love for you to go ahead and hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. You know what to do. Leave you with my final thoughts, which are, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.